everybody, and welcome to Middle-Aged Geeks. I'm one of your hosts, Daz, and this is my trusty co-host, Phil. How are you doing, big man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Yeah. It's been a good year overall so far. Like with movies, I really enjoyed this week's one, and I've watched a couple of good movies this week. So kicking off the new year, the first month, January went down very well, and it looks like a banger year for movies and games. So it's great. As long as the ball's starting to roll now, it's fun. What about yourself?
I'm still in bits. Back end of this flu just won't fuck off. Cough and chest infection and sniffles. So apologies. We will try edit out all these grotesque sounds on my end. January for movies and games been, well, especially movies, been pretty good. But in terms of everything else, January, I'm happy to see the fucking end of it. So on this week's show, we will get into some feedback. And then we'll touch on some news, what we've been playing and watching, and then get stuck into this week's movie companion. So first up, we got some great feedback from a friend of the show, Matt from Southern California. He got in touch to say that he's loving the show, and his highlight is the Highlander episode that he said he's watched at least 40 times, which is great. That's kind of a fan favorite. He's also a massive fan of The Substance and shares and echoes our thoughts on that. So
yeah, that was I read that mail. It was a really, really nice mail to get. Thanks very much for that, Matthew. Much appreciated. Very, very kind words.
Yeah, really. And he said, he's after he said that about Highlander, I said back to him that we'll have to do Highlander 2 and get stuck into that movie because that's.
I'm not taking this through that, man. I won't be able to control myself. Like it's so bad. Like I'm pretty sure it's got I'm pretty sure its Rotten Tomato score is 0 or something like that. Like it's absolutely shocking. But I wouldn't be able to get through that. That'll have to be you. I'll just chime in every now and again.
Yeah, I'll do my best. But yeah, Matt, thanks for that, Matt. He said it's nice when, shows break through the algorithm into your feed sometimes. And I know that when you catch something new, either on YouTube or Instagram or something like that, it's great. So yeah, let's get stuck into then some news. So what's been tickling your fancy news-wise this week, buddy?
A couple of things I wanted to mention was first, Matthew Lillard, the wonderful Matthew Lillard, is officially going to be in Scream 7, which I'm not sure how they're going to work that out. Spoilers for the first Scream from whatever came out 30 years ago. He dies. When he gets stabbed, he gets a TV smashed over his head, electrocuted to death. But I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Drew Barrymore, fucking arrived back in. Like, they just fucking bring in. Like, they just need to bring everybody back, and there's just a new one. The surprise. Oh, it's so and so from the fucking 2 movies ago, or the original movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to bring him back into it. But we'll see. And the last bit for me was another teaser trailer for Alien Earth. It just seems to be getting us a little bit every time. And this one is like a POV shot from the facehugger, and it's just milling around the ship. You see it like heading towards or whatever, a door on the outside of the ship, an airlock, and the ship is just declining through orbit to crash into the planet, whatever. So it's pretty cool looking. They don't get any more in from that. It's just gone. Like, they just seem to be giving us little teasers. Like there was a teaser, then a slightly longer teaser, and then this is another teaser. Just give us a full fucking trailer, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. Here's another 10 seconds.
But I'm interested more to have a chat about some of the news you have, Daz, because we have both mentioned the Superman teaser that was released and the stuff around that.
Yeah, the new kind of teaser TV spot was released, which features about 3 seconds of extra footage. Extra shot of Lex, coming off a ship near the Fortress Solitude or something like that. But the thing that got everyone buzzing, or the opposite, was the last second and a half where you see shot behind Superman. He's spinning around, doing a barrel roll, and a shot in front of him doing that, and the camera is just right in front of his face, and you just see him just flying towards camera. And I was like, fuck it, yeah, flying, here we go. And then you see online there's fucking furore of people just like, what the hell, what's weird, what's wrong with his fucking face, and the angle, and it's like, obviously it's a wide angle fucking camera, your face just looks a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with his face. Even James Gunn had to come out and kind of go, there's nothing wrong, there's no CGI, that's just his face, and the background plate is a real shot of, somewhere in Iceland or wherever they filmed. And it's a very like people kind of saying, is this movie going to make $1 billion? It needs to be this and that. And I'd say even James Gunn realizes like it's not going to make $1 billion because his DC fandom is so fucking fractured that there are people
Yeah.
that just love the original Donner movie from fucking 79, or they're just the Zack Snyder fan base who just like Henry Cavill or nothing, and it's just they just hate it because he's not in it. And you can
Yeah,
see in
yeah.
all the comments, it's so fucking all over the shop. So, like half the people that are fans of Superman are just fans of an actor, and it's like I just don't get it. There's obviously Brandon Routh fans somewhere, just like fuck that, he deserved a bigger shot. And it's just it's kind of appalling to see, and it's just going to fracture the whole thing. The movie's going to probably make about 400 million. It'll be fine. But what do you think of the flying shot?
I loved it, man.
That
I
1
loved
second.
it.
Yeah, it looks
I
great.
loved it. I always thought I loved that fucking barrel rolls and all the rest of it, because I was thinking is, if I was able to fly, man, I would be taking the piss. I'd be doing fucking the Macarena in midair, like just because I can. You know what I mean? Like just
Fly
maybe
backwards.
something cooler than the Macarena. Let me think. The hustle. No, wait, still lame. But yeah, like I definitely, I'd be having the crack with it if I could fly. Like I'm sure for him, it's just as boring as walking. You know what I mean? Because he's just able to do it automatically. But still, man,
why wouldn't you be doing these crazy things?
So I know I thought it was great. I think it was great to get a fucking proper cool shot of him flying. I didn't see the issues. I do think that he looks a little bit like Nathan Fillion. I don't know that just the actor has this kind of slightly looks a bit like him. So the fact that Nathan Fillion's in the same movie is mad. I just think they kind of look so similar. But I had no issues with it. But like you, I've seen that. I think that the fractured is a good word to use. It's very, they don't, like, I don't, you just think of, when I think of Superman or Batman or Spider-Man, I just think of the character, okay, fine, Tom Holland's playing him now, or, fucking whatever.
Someone new will play them all the time.
Someone new will always play him, but it's just a character. It's a character from, there's always going to be different iterations. There's many different Batman stories over the year that none of them link up. There's the Arkham ones, there's everything. There's all these different variations of this one character. And so I just love Batman in general. So it doesn't matter
okay
to
have
me.
a favorite, but it doesn't mean you
exactly. Like Michael Keaton, maybe Kevin Conroy, my two favorites, but it doesn't mean I didn't love Christian Bale or think fucking Robert Pattinson was great. You just take it on. I don't get it.
Like imagine if you felt that way. Imagine if you felt that way about the comics and just go, well, I like the 1962 to 64 run, and I won't read any of the other fucking shit. It's just like, what?
Time to burn down Forbidden Planet, fucking bastards.
Exactly. How dare you? It's pretty shocking.
Yeah, it is a bit shocking, yeah.
But more Superman news then was Warner Brothers has been sued by the Superman creators estate ahead of the new James Gunn film, saying that it claims that Warner Brothers has unlawfully failed to pay royalties for the use of the character in countries including like Britain, Canada, Australia and Ireland, and they wanted the movie banned from those countries. And straight away when I saw that, I was just like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to pay to go to fucking Spain or America or something to watch this movie. But they did this back in 2013 when Zack Snyder was releasing Man of Steel, and they failed in that lawsuit as well. But what
about Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh one? Did they try it then?
No, didn't try it. No. Then. It's just a recent development. So every movie they try it now, and unsuccessfully. So the minute I heard that, I was just like, oh gosh, fuck off, lads. I'm sure Warner Brothers probably don't usually cover themselves in lots of glory, but we shall see. But anyway, hopefully it's going to come out, or else we're going to have to fly somewhere to see it. Another one, bit of news this week: the Sinners trailer, which I only saw before the movie, this week's movie. I hadn't seen online, anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was trailer 2 that was on this week. I kind of got with the trailer.
Ryan Coogler's new movie featuring Michael B. Jordan. And the trailer's fucking amazing. It's just, I wasn't ready for how incredible this trailer was. Like a Prohibition era period piece, supernatural vampire romp. And Michael B. Jordan playing twins. And it's just, it's fucking looks like a lot of fun.
It does.
Big fan of Ryan Coogler. Big fan. So on the gaming side, this week there's some news regarding Xbox and its trilogy of big franchises that Xbox gamers have always been wondering, like, will they ever go to PlayStation, like Halo, Forza, and Gears? But the news this week that Forza Horizon 5 is going to be coming to PlayStation 5 this spring, which is a massive kind of swing. I mean, like Xbox's Game Pass sales, again, were up this month, but hardware sales continue to diminish. They're like 5-1 or 6-1 dominated by Sony at the moment. So it's really looking like they are just going to become like a third-party studio, which is bananas. I mean, like Xbox just
something the next
losing.
Sega.
Yeah, exactly. Xbox, they're losing loads of money, but Microsoft is so colossal. Like they've money to burn in the bank. But it does go to show that like that 70 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard is one of the strangest acquisitions in the history of fucking business, where they're just like, they're so far in the red that they've gone, fuck, actually, we need to just get all our primary franchises over onto Sony as quick as possible, and possibly Nintendo as well, which was I'm looking forward to that, because I play a lot of Xbox stuff on the Xbox Series S, which graphically is not the biggest powerhouse. So to see that come over to PlayStation, be like, yes, please.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. And then a quick one we'll touch on, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which we have been following as part of the Ubisoft saga, which is coming out.
At one point, I think we were just pretty much a Assassin's Creed Shadows podcast. Like, it was just we're just talking about it every week.
The game that is hopefully from Ubisoft's side going to save their company. But yeah, a lot of YouTubers and review outlets played about 4 to 5 hours, and the reports are kind of mixed. Some people saying it's fine, it plays just like other Assassin's Creed. Other people saying it's a bit bland. The characters were a bit bland, and the fact that you can choose between Yasuke and Naue, and Yasuke being the big brute, and Naue being more of a traditional stealth assassin, that you can switch between them, but you can't, like, if you want to stay as Yasuke, there are certain things that you just like can't climb. You cannot climb up a building. You need to switch to the other character so she can use a grappling hook, and then you can't really do a lot of stealth with Yasuke because he has stealth mechanics, but someone said he's a big fucking black samurai, so he's like, it's this brutal stealth where he just grabs someone and goes, rah! And it's like, that's not exactly a stealth skill.
And everybody still hears it. Like, it's only the only person surprised is the guy he stabs from behind. Everybody else around hears it and sees it.
Yeah, I'm in the shadows. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think so.
The thing about it, I think the thing as well on that is that apparently the skill tree, because a lot of the games now, you'll have your combat skill, maybe your defense and survival, whatever one they call it, depending on what game you're playing. That there's three trees available, skill trees in this one, and you only get access to one when you're playing Yakuza, or what's his name?
Yasuke,
Yasuke. You only get one tree for him because he can't do climbing, he can't do traversal and all the rest of it. He can't work on his skill. It's basically just, heavy brute for how strong can you make him kind of thing. Which is, I don't know, I think that's really going to take... At this point, you might as well just fucking write him out of the game, like, and just make it about her, because
that's what they should have done.
Now it feels like tokenism. Now it feels like you're really just putting them in there for the sake, which is really shitty. And it's just,
especially when they give you the choice, obviously, to which narrative do you want to choose. And for me, I'd be choosing the female assassin, Japanese, just something I wanted all the time. I mean, and the problem is that you can choose, between characters at will in the open world. But they said at certain points during missions, you'll get to maybe a boss fight. And it's like, are you sure you want to keep playing as Naue, or do you want to play as Yasuke? And because of the boss fight, you're going, well, I've been playing with the female assassin and following her narrative, but if I keep choosing, or if I don't choose Yasuke, like, the boss fight is going to be a lot more difficult with her. But it makes sense to choose the big brute to
but how does that work with your story?
But with the story, it's just like, but if I was building up to this point, and then, you're almost forced, your hand is forced to pick someone else and apparently then the other person just hangs back in a corridor as the other one fights the boss, and it just feels a bit clunky, as you say, kind of tokenism. That it just, the narrative fluidity is broken, apparently. So
you could have just given him his own game, make it not Assassin's Creed, but just have a game based on him. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's got like 7 or 8 out of 10 written all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I will be playing it day one because I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan. So yeah, that is pretty much all the news this week. So let's get into what we've been playing and watching. What have you been up to this week?
Relatively quiet week. I'm still continuing. I've only got a few hours in though at this stage. I was hoping to have played like Ender Magnolia for the whole week, but didn't. But I have this full coming week off, and I have a bunch of stuff to do at home. But I am going to set a good bit of time for gaming aside as well. But yeah, great, fucking Metroidvania. I love it. And then, but watching wise, I watched Sing Sing. I can't believe it. I let this came out over here in like August, and I missed it. But it's absolutely wonderful, and I love the whole story around it. Like the cast of it are all, because the whole thing is set in Sing Sing prison around this program of like redemption through arts, and stuff. And so they're putting on stage shows as prisoners and stuff. And so all the actors in this movie you're playing these guys are actual people who were, well, pretty much all of them were all part of this program. We're all previously incarcerated.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then even like the way that they were paid, they wanted everybody to get the same pay. So everybody, no matter what your job was in the film, everybody gets equal pay and owns a part of the film, an equal part of the film. And it's just that must bring such togetherness, I'd imagine, in 100%. Making a movie like that. That they shot it in like a few weeks. But I think that while you're on the set with a bunch of people, you must all feel like, oh yeah, like we're the peons and they're the main guys. No, everybody's equal. Everybody's getting paid the same. And it's just, I love that. Absolutely love that. And it's an incredible performance by, is it Coleman Domingo? Incredible performance by him. It's absolutely loved it. And then the only other thing new I watched was The Return with Ralph Fiennes. He plays like Odysseus after Troy, returning home to Troy and stuff. Yeah, Jesus, man. Good. Guy's he got himself fucking like ripped and fucking stuff. Well, not ripped beefcake, but just like proper trim, fucking muscular kind of thing, which is fair fucking play to him. He looks great. It's a decent enough movie, but a kind of little boring at times, but really good performance. But yeah, that's it on my end. What about you? Anything new jump out this week?
Well, I've played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Oh, sweet.
Called that shadow dropped during the Xbox Developers Showcase last week. And I wasn't not a huge Ninja Gaiden guy growing up. I do remember playing it. I think we talked last week and it's just been really hard. So I said, I'll give this a fucking go. And I played it. Yeah, it's really hard. But when I was playing it, I was trying to figure out what kind of game it was. It's like, it's obviously a ninja kind of, but was it a slashing game or is it a blocking game or, a parry window game? And it's not quite evident at the start. There's a lot of just like, Jesus Christ, just flying around the place. Looks great. It's kind of pretty fluid, but the camera is still like that old school shitty camera that just kind of decides to angle itself and away from all the guys you're trying to fight. The base sword you get is, you only realize how shit that is until after about 40 minutes when you pick up first weapon in a chest, which is a staff. And, staff, you're swinging it around. It's like, all right, this is fucking cool. And it becomes more of a kind of slasher game, but it's just dodging around and slashing the shit out of fucking everything. And it's just like, yeah, this is kind of fun. But it became so much of kind of a button mashing. You're not quite sure what you're doing, but you where you're moving and blocking, but you're just mashing buttons. And then my fucking controller broke. The A button just locked in.
No.
And just
did you buy one of those? Did you not buy one of those fancy Elite controllers? Did you have one of them?
I had one of them before. I traded it in because I just wasn't using my Xbox at all.
Oh, okay.
But this went back to the stock one. Yeah, and the A button just like, I thought it was stuck, but it's actually, the spring is just gone. It's just mashed down into the thing. So yeah, that was the end. And I was kind of enjoying it at that point. It's like, oh yeah, bring it on. And I thought I was getting far in the game because I played like 2 or 3 hours, but I wasn't even past the first fucking level or something. It's like, okay. So yeah, that'll be the end of my Xbox gaming for a while. But that's all I played. But what I watched, because after watching this week's movie, which I thought was really, really good, Then I watched Severance, which is really, really, really good. I won't get into it because you don't want to talk about it. So after watching those two really, really, really excellent pieces of entertainment, I decided I need to balance it a little bit. I need to put a bit of, maybe watch something a little bit shit. So I watched Star Trek Section 31.
Oh, no, I couldn't even bring myself to watch that. I saw the trailer alone. I was like, no.
Man. When I say I say watched, I think I made it 38 minutes in, and it actually ruined my Saturday night. I just started feeling nauseous after it. Just like, I got food
is it a comedy or what is it? Is
it a comedy? Like inadvertently a comedy. It is. It's appalling. Like before, like trying to like, I was so trying to be so descriptive writing. Like what words can I choose to really get this across to Phil? Like I need to invent some words. Like it's unbelievable when you see IGN give something like fucking 2 out of 10 or something. No, Jesus Christ, it's really bad.
IGN is giving it a bad score here.
Yeah, man. It's because it was supposed to be a show, and then they turned into a movie. I don't know if that's because of Michelle Yeoh's Oscar or whatever, but I couldn't make it past 40-minute mark.
Did you see its score on IMDb? 3.8.
3. Yeah, rightly so. It's just embarrassing. Like it's the characters. It's like Alex Kurtzman's another one of his disastrous entries into this Star Trek fucking canon. His life's mission to destroy Star Trek. I think it's the characters are just buffoons. There's one guy that's just like. He's just like dressed as a mech. There's another guy called Buzz who's like this little alien that lives inside a Vulcan robot, and he's got some kind of Irish accent. But like Irish accent, I mean, like Tom Cruise far and away is like that is Oscar level when you see the kind of it's just you're just going, oh my god, like this is if this was if someone said from the creators of Scary Movie 4, you go okay. And Michelle Yeoh, like she's doing her best, but even she is fucking awful. It's one of those where she's such a good actor and we both love her, but the script it's shocking. There's a.
I'm gonna have to watch it now, man. That sounds so bad. And I know Casey Roll is in it, who I really like from. I thought she was great in what the fuck is it? Hannibal. She's Abigail in Hannibal. I thought she was really good in that. And I haven't seen her in much, but I saw her name pop up for that. I was like, I must check it out. Good for her. So, I didn't know it. I haven't seen her in much. But obviously, I wasn't expecting it to be as bad as all that. So now I'm fucking totally intrigued.
Oh yeah, no, I have to try and watch the second half because like it's a biological super weapon. Like the target, they actually have to try and get this super weapon off. I don't think he's the big bad, but he's the guy that holds it, big cube or whatever. He's like straight out of The Fifth Element with his like bald guy in blue and orange suit with some cheap glowing kind of screen around him. And it's just like, oh my God, the sets, everything is just like, this is horrendous. And
I'm watching that tonight.
So yeah, but with that Abomination, just had to get that out. All right. Let's move on to our movie review this week, which is Companion.
Sweet, yeah, cheers, Daz. Yeah, this week's movie is Companion, as I said at the top. This was I'm happy to report this is another good one, but we'll talk about that more in a second. So it is written and directed by Drew Hancock, who also did Barbarian. Not sure if you saw Barbarian, did you, Daz?
No, didn't see it at all. Must be.
That's good. It's a meant movie. It just when you start watching it, don't read anything about it, but start watching. You will have no idea what direction it's going to go when it goes Brilliant. There. It's a great movie. But this, so this is kind of, I suppose, it's kind of dark horror comedy, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't think you'd call it really horror as such. It's more
a thriller,
dark comedy. Yeah. And so it's starring Sophie Thatcher as Iris, Jack Quaid as Josh. Lucas Gage as Patrick, Megan Suri as Kat, Harry Gillen as Ellie, and Rupert Friend as Sergey. I love Rupert Friend as Sergey. Just before we get into it, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then, I'll give you a quick synopsis first. And the synopsis actually for this movie gives nothing away. Like a billionaire's death sets off a chain of events for Iris and her friends during a weekend trip to his lakeside estate. Now, if you read that and only that, you would have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
And I think, but if you've seen the trailer or even seen the poster, you know that she's a robot. Like in the trailer, we know she's not a real person. So the reveal in the movie then doesn't carry a whole lot of weight. I wish they had hidden that. I would have loved to be watching this thinking it's a regular thriller, what's going to happen, and then find out she's a robot. That would have been amazing.
That's kind of how it happened to be, because I remember
because in the trailer, like it literally Kat even says to him, "Did you jailbreak your sex bot?" Like it's literally in it. The part where he tells her to wake up from being asleep, all of that's in the trailer.
And the kind of burning of the hand and stuff. Because I watched the trailer afterwards, but I'd seen the trailer way back. I think you'd mentioned it to me, or maybe I was editing one of the shows where you mentioned it. But while I was watching it, I was like, for some reason in the back of my mind, I was like, is this something? I thought there was something about a robot or something like that. But it wasn't so fresh. If I'd watched the trailer, a week before seeing the movie, there's so many bits in the trailer, and it's so hard to market a movie like this where you have
That's
to.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. I know why. Like, I know I'm
waiting for the hand burning, and you're just like, which is in the fucking last act of the movie, and you're like, okay. So it's the less perfect.
It would be great if I knew even less and didn't know them. But I think in order to market it and what the kind of movie that it is, I understand why they did that. And the poster's gorgeous. I love the whole the sign, the opening kind of what's called credits production thing with companion written over the mountains, the thing, just the kind of the red
romantic comedy font.
Like it's a pink background with red writing, and then a little blood drops here and there. It's
bring your girlfriend.
Really, really well done.
Date movie.
But look, for those of you at home who are new, we'll do a usual. We'll start with our spoiler-free review. We'll kind of run through the movie and different aspects and what we enjoyed and what we didn't, and then we'll move on down to a spoiler section, but we will give you some warning. So that's just before we get into the nitty-gritty. What did you think? What was your overall feelings on this one?
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, like going in there and not really knowing too much about the specific kind of beats throughout the movie. I thought it was so fresh and inventive. Performances are just pitch perfect for that kind of dark comedy and where it goes. It's just, it's fantastic. That was very funny at times as well. It's just clever. The script is just super tight, confident, and sharp dialogue. The stakes were constantly escalating for me, and I just didn't know where it was going. And you get an idea of where it is narratively, but in terms of like story beats and stuff like that, it was pleasantly surprised with a smile on my face all the time. It's like it kind of veers away from anything formulaic, which is such an achievement for kind of a movie like this. You always see movies like this where they are inventive and fresh and stuff like that, and then the third act just becomes, your standard kind of formulaic third act. Where this time it was just like I didn't really know where it was going, which was fantastic. But and some really, really good use of music to punctuate some of the scenes straight away. It's just picking up that soundtrack. It's just fucking.
What did you think? We can start. Why don't we start off there? Yeah, what did you think of the score and the sound in general?
Oh, absolutely loved it. Really, it's just excellent use of, like I say, when certain songs come in, it's just fucking excellent. But the score and just the sense of mood and tone is just perfectly navigated. I just absolutely, I just thought it was just fucking fantastic.
Yeah, me too, man. I too. Like, I mean, obviously, I think you do. Anybody who's listened or watched the show already knew I was going to absolutely love this movie. But I love the score, and I love that it's, as you said at the start, it gives you that romantic comedy kind of vibe to it, and so it does have that. There's these even moments of heart and stuff where they actually have that kind of score to it, and it kind of offsets the horrible shit that's going on at the same time, and it's just really coolly done. It's a great soundtrack. It's one I think I definitely must listen to actually. On Spotify, but it's I thought the sound design was great. Absolutely no issues with it. And there's a lot of fun as well with the sound. We get into it maybe in the spoiler section, but there's a lot of fun involving some of the sound in it as well. And it's just there's no issues there. Sometimes with these movies, you're got like what did you say before, like soundtrack A or soundtrack pack A, whatever, and throw it on because it's just a horror movie. But no, they've used the sound well in this one, which is great. You touched on there, Daz, the confidence kind of writing. I think you get that a lot when someone is the writer and director. You're getting it, you're getting exactly the way they want. Whereas sometimes if someone's developing someone else's work, something can be lost in translation, or it might not
Absolutely.
come out. So what did you think of the writing and the pacing in particular? Because this is a 90-minute movie that I felt longer than 90 minutes. Like I really,
I just thought it was fantastic. Like they get to it very quickly. They get to the guy's mansion in the hills, and straight away it's just like, oh, fucking great. Like, and we said this before, that with the Wolfman or something like that, where they just get, straight to location, and it's like, oh, it's going to be in this location. And I couldn't help thinking of that movie when I was watching this one, and just, this is how you do a movie like that. They get the plot going straight away, but it's not rushed whatsoever. It's like when they get there, you're getting your character development, your setup. There's not too many characters in it, but everyone gets their own little time to breathe and sets up the scene. You get thought like so many characters. Obviously, there's Josh and Iris are the two kind of main leads, or whatever, but they are such well developed characters, the two of them. But then everyone else is as well. There's like this. Everyone's so rounded. Yeah. It's not just like, any other movie be like, oh, this is, if you've seen the trailer or something, you go, okay, this is they're gonna die, and they're just fucking cannon fodder. But it just it just felt like it was taking its time, even though it's like sub 100-minute movie, but nothing was rushed, because again, you're just confident scripting. You're just going, well, this is all necessary. These relationships are necessary. You need to understand that these guys love each other, that they because it's all just going to pay off wonderfully, not just in the final act, but all through the movie. There's so many lovely little moments of character development that's setting everything up, and you just get payoffs throughout the movie.
Yeah,
which I thought was fucking. It's just, like when you watch it, you're just going, this is great. It's just to actually just be watching a really well written, confident movie that's, as you said, taking its time, and just not, even though it's a shorter movie, but doesn't feel like they're flying through it, where the Wolfman felt like they were just in a rush to get somewhere, and
still cut out bits that really could have helped the movie. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I loved it. Loved the pacing. I was kind of even going, geez, I almost thought it would have been over by now, because it's just paced so lovely. It was like, I knew it was only going to be 90 minutes, but it was just like, each act is just paced out really well. And it's, I was absolutely in love with it. Like, I love the dialogue. I was, despite knowing what I knew from the trailer going in, I was still, surprised a couple of times, but still straight away having my feelings about the characters and understanding why they act certain ways towards Iris and stuff like that. It's just, it was thoroughly enjoyable. Like you, I had a big fucking smile on my face the whole way through. And like, it is, despite the fact that it's a horror, it is also obviously futuristic, because, we're talking just almost sentient kind of fucking robots. I suppose the only thing that I suppose was a little bit incongruent to that was most of the stuff that was happening looked very present day. You know what I mean? Like, he has, his phone just looks like one of those galaxies, or what's it called? Flip Z things. And the apart from the cars looking a little bit fancy, I'm pretty sure that his self-driving car is, you can get out now. It's that Ionic, whatever thing. That's just a thing. But yet the technology to build Iris is fucking so far in the future. So that's the only thing. But
is it? That's a scary.
Well, who knows? Who knows? You could be a robot for all I know. But like, I think, but the thing, mind you, if they could do it, it would already be marketed. Like the fact that she, as in the trailer, as your sex bot. 100% that's what's on the horizon for any, because anytime a new technology comes out, home video, can we get porn on it? Internet, you can go contact anybody else in the world all over. We can send messages, you can keep in contact, you can and you see people fucking on it. Yeah, okay, grand. Yeah, every bit of new technology is just, how can we stick our dicks in this? Like, so it's just, the AI is now starting. If you're scared of AI now, prepare to get your partner is going to be getting terrified of being replaced, because that's what humans seem to do. Like, there's one side who want to forward it and get us to outer space and land on Mars and the rest of it, and then there's the other side of the geniuses who are like, let's fuck it. But like, but the use of effects in it, it's minimal enough, and I loved it. I love the eyes. You see it on the poster, the white kind of eyes, and you shut down. It's just perfect side of just creepy and realistic as well. And then there's another bit towards the end where there's a whole full CGI thing that's kind of awesome as well. But it's I thought the effects and the gore and it were fucking brilliant, really done, and not overdone either. You know what I mean? Because you could have the temptation maybe to go completely overboard, because it's kind of comedy horror, where someone's fucking arm gets chopped off and there's arterial blood spray everywhere all over the walls. They didn't go too mad with that, which sometimes they would do in a movie like this. If you see something like, Ready or Not or something like that, they will go over the top. That Abigail, anything when there's someone getting killed. Whereas it's not too much in this, which I really appreciated.
Like, what was the budget on it?
Oh God, I'm not actually sure. There's the one thing I didn't look up.
I'll look up that now. 10 million.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that's amazing, right?
Wow. Okay, that is amazing. Yeah, that's fun. That's incredibly
made. Fucking brilliant. Yeah.
That gaff, that house looks like it's worth about 20 million. I love one of the lines, like as they asked at the start, like, do you own the whole lake? You saw everything a property in like 20 miles. He's like, no, not the whole lake, just all the land surrounds it. Like,
not the lake.
Yeah, like it's great. I suppose that you mentioned the two characters themselves being fantastic, but what did you think performance wise?
Oh, she's fucking excellent. She truly excellent. Like, loved her in Heretic. She's brilliant, and just see her just give a new just a new angle completely. Like, she has a lot to do. Jack Quaid, I think this is one of the first times I've seen him outside The Boys. And he is, I think his character is fantastic. I love where his character goes, and the fact that it's kind of it's just shown to you. Like, it's really not, you're not hammered over the head that like, oh, look where like his true colors and all this kind of stuff. Where you just it's just a natural progression of kind of like showing, this is kind of actually what he's like, and this kind of AI versus toxic masculinity. What's the thing you fear most? But she's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. She plays it so well that must be hard to do. Like, when you're just going, like, when you become self-aware of yourself, someone going, yeah, you're actually a robot. She just plays it. She's so naive, and then to see her transformation into just becoming this self-aware, strong, confident woman or confident robot is brilliant. But the whole cast are just perfect. Perfect.
Lucas Gage, we've seen a few things now. Who played Patrick? He was the guy from Smile 2, smashed his
head. Yeah.
I thought
he looks like a robot.
Yeah, he does actually look like. I thought him and Eli, played by Harvey Guillen, I thought that they were brilliant. They're a gay couple, and they were just they were fucking hilarious. The two of them as well. There's a lot of good comedy coming from both of them. And yeah, some of which it makes sense as it goes on, because obviously I said from the start it is given away in the trailer, but you kind of see whose reactions are different to Iris once you realize that she watches the machine. You realize when he says at the start, "Oh, Kat's not a huge fan of her," and Kat's kind of cold to her, and you think, "Oh, Kat just a bitch." No, she's just not into sex robots.
that point where she has this early on in the movie where they have a moment, and she's like, "Do you not like me, Kat?" And she's like, "No, it's not that I don't like you. It's just what you represent. Like, you make me feel like I'm so replaceable." And even that conversation, because I was in the dark, I was like,
all right,
what the fuck is all that about? And then
there's a lot of words. There's a lot of things like that they kind of throw in about, like, the I'm just not programmed that way. It's just not the way I am. And you just, if you weren't, there's loads of little bits and pieces like that. But when you go back, I'd say to rewatch it and see how, say, Eli reacts when he sees Iris, because she gets a big hug, whereas and then Sergei's kind of creepy and doesn't talk to her like she's a person either. It's really, I love them. I love the performances, man. I think, like, Sophie Thatcher is just fucking brilliant. There's the range that she goes through in this as well, from being like fully fucking terrified of what's going on to just, almost revenge kind of side of things, to just dark and cold. Like, and she's funny as fuck as well. Like, the stuff when the
German thing is amazing.
Yeah, the German thing. Yeah, we'll get into that later on. But that, I wet myself laughing at that. That was absolutely brilliant. Such a great idea. Really, really good. And I suppose you're more into this now that I get with, like, cinematography. I can appreciate it, but, like, what did you think of the cinematography in this?
It's gorgeous, and I guess it's hard when you got a single location a lot of the time to like, it's just lit brilliantly. I'm so surprised. It's 10 million because it looks fantastic. It's obviously there's not much CGI going on, but it does convey that kind of near future feel to it. Everything's kind of smooth around the edges. But yeah, the lighting's fantastic. But the use of just the shots on Iris herself, when you just get those, just full on kind of close ups when when she's meeting, let's say, Josh for the first time, just to get those lovely shots with her eyes kind of downloading or processing stuff.
Yeah,
Minimal stuff like that. It's just it's got a very premium look to it. And just again, you could get into it for hours. Just the use of different lenses and different angles for specific stuff, specific scenes, is wonderful. Wonderful. It's just, as you said, it's a writer director, and he's obviously working really, really closely with his DP. They know exactly. Well, I can't wait to see the behind the scenes in this, because I say it's meticulously shot.
yeah.
Just looks so good. 10 million just goes to show you, man. If you know what you're doing, you don't need 50 million to make something look premium,
Oh, look, we talked. I know we've mentioned it a couple of times on here, but I think Upgrade cost 5 million.
Yeah.
Like, you can, and you think about that, has actual they use the same piece of road over and over again, but there's a proper, like, kind of car crash, space speed, chase, whatever, with no supposedly automatic car. And so there's all sorts of shit going on in that. But they just knew exactly how to cut it and how to edit it and how to shoot it. So to get the absolute maximum out of it. And it just shows how, when you look at Wolfman,
shot in the dark, money that was spent on it. Like shit, 25 million quid. It's like, no.
Yeah. So look, how about we give our scores, and then we can kind of talk more about the actual spoilery stuff. So what about you, Daz? What would you give it now as your score?
4.5. Yeah,
we're going to have the same score this week, man. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to go 4.5 as well. I can probably confidently say, even though we're only the start of the year, this will probably be in my top 5 at the end of the year.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely. Yeah. It very substance vibes in terms of when you're watching it, just going like, this is great, but like fresh and inventive, and just going, I actually don't really know where this is going, and that's such a pleasant surprise to kind of just be taken on a journey and just be so happy that you're in the hands of somebody so creative and confident that's got a small cast, but they're all fucking singing during this. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. That's a recommendation from both of me and Daz. Go and check it out. It just came out in the cinema this past weekend, so this should be out for a few weeks. Okay, well, look, we'll move on then to our spoiler section. So, look, I know normally we kind of go through every kind of scene, but I think I'll just kind of take it as an overall opening, and then just kind of tell you what you liked, what you didn't, because it's just, if we start going in, because I loved it so much, I'll end up spending ages on the whole fucking thing. But as you said, Daz, earlier on, like when it starts, it gets right into it. Like, it's the two of them having a chat, and they're in the car driving to this place, and they're going to stay there for the weekend, and they're having the conversation about what it's going to be like. And then when we get there, we get the realization of some of it. We see, here's Kat. And, we find out Kat doesn't like her. We get to meet her, and we just get introduced to them one by one, and we get them all having dinner together. And that's how we get to kind of know more about them, how they met, how they stuff. And it's just really simple way of doing it. And you can already see the beginnings of why I didn't like Josh. The way he talks to her on the way into the house. He's real, look, just try to act this, and he's cursing at her kind of thing. And I was like, I know she's a robot, and so I'm like, okay, that's why he's just treating her like a piece of property, like because it's a piece of property. But I imagine
that was me, because I
someone else watching it going, Jesus, this
like,
guy's just a prick. Like,
yeah, I was kind of going, oh my god, is this like a very obvious, like one of these, which happens all the time, this complete imbalance in a relationship where somebody's just eager to please, and like when she has that conversation at dinner, and she's just like, I just knew it was love at first sight when I met him, and because I just want to make him happy and all this stuff. And you see him just looking at her kind of unnervingly, and just kinda,
smiling along,
holding his head and stuff. And you're just like, and she spots that, just going, oh wow, and I just didn't really. If I knew she was a robot, it would be obviously, like, it would be much more obvious what's going on. But I did have a moment going, oh, this is, like, where's this going? It's a very obvious imbalance. But then you realize, quick enough that she's a robot, and that's why he's talking to her. But it's still that kind of thing where it's just kind of demeaning, and he's like, oh, when we go in here, don't be mopey and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, fucking hell.
And it's,
Both of them are better then.
And it's the same thing around the dinner table when they're having that meal. The same reaction. You can see the same almost look on Patrick's face when he's talking about how he met Eli, and I suppose later on, obviously, you realize that why,
yeah.
But yeah, so they're anyway, they're having dinner, they meet everybody, they meet fucking Sergey, who's this fucking nutball Russian guy who owns the place.
His introduction is brilliant. He's just standing at the stairs. Hi.
He's excellent. I absolutely loved him. And I wish he was in it more because they kind of have a first night where they kind of go on they just get absolutely wasted on the first night. Everybody's dancing around having the crack. And you can see the jealousy, like Iris, who obviously is in love with him. You can see she can see Kat and Josh talking, and she goes over and pulls him away just to dance with her and stuff like that. And you can see the kind of jealousy there straight away. But then the next morning, he tells her, "No, you go on down to the beach and chill out. I'm going to stay in the house." And you see him put something in her pocket, and then off she goes down, and she's on the beach, and Sergey goes down, and then Sergey starts hitting on her, and then starts trying to force. You see him kind of say, "No, Kat says this is a good idea. If you come down here." Yeah. And so he starts pushing. Then we find that they're back in the house. She comes back up, and she's just fucking covered in blood.
It's a great reveal that actually, where they're just talking, and they're just talking. The bloody hand comes into frame. It's like,
she's just holding the knife. Clever. And she's just fucking absolutely covered in blood, and she's like, I had no choice. And I love that. Yeah, this is the first part where we get to realize that she's a robot, because everybody's fucking freaking out. The whole rest of it, they tired. He just says to her, "Iris, go to sleep," and all of a sudden, boom, you see her eyes go white, and that's her realizes she's a robot. If you hadn't seen the trailer, but it's great because we start to get a reveal then of what happened. So she's when we wake, she's tied to a chair, and he explains to her, "You're a robot companion. Like, you're basically a sex robot. I control you with my phone." And he explains to the group the reason that she was able to hurt someone was that he had jailbroken her. He got this little fucking USB stick and jailbroke her, and so that meant that he could go in and change settings that normally you wouldn't be able to change. Like, they're not allowed to hurt humans, not allowed to hurt other robots. They're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z. They can't have their intelligence up over a certain amount. There's only certain things you can't do. But of course, like jailbreaking your iPhone, so you can run Android apps. This is this is what he's done with her, and it's great.
Clever ploy. Like, when you think about it, just like, right, okay, get her to kill the billionaire. We'll steal all the fucking money in the safe.
Put her back.
Cat knows his password and all this stuff, and then just wipe her. And then oh yeah, my robot went fucking crazy.
Yeah, just wipe the jailbreak thing. Just go, "Oh look, I never jailbroke her." So, but it's your machine has gone nuts and killed this per person, and they get away with 12 million that's in the safe. Yeah. So they have to let Eli in the plan, obviously, and they explain it to him. And this is where you kind of get the reveal that Patrick is also a robot, because there's 12 million here. And they're like, "Okay, well, let's split 4 ways," and you're like, "No, it's 3 ways." It's like, "Well, it'd be 4 ways." It's like, "Well, because," and then Patrick starts asking questions, and Eli's like, "Patrick, go to sleep," and then Patrick's eyes go white. Okay, that was such
a shock to me. It was just like, is that revealed in the trailer that he's a robot?
No. I kind of felt it coming. It felt it coming, and then when they said it's only getting split 3 ways, I was like, okay, that's obviously it. And it's really funny then, because he just fucking stops, and the eyes go white, and but it's great because what's her when she escapes obviously from the chair, and she goes belting off everything. She takes takes the phone with her and runs off into the forest, and she starts messing around with her settings. I love 200. This. I love that, and that's actually in the trailer as well. She looks at it, intelligence 40%. She's like, "Oh, Josh," and puts it up to 100. But she's messing around, and she can change the color of her eyes. She can do all this. It's just like changing your languages, the pitch of her voice, all that kind of stuff. And so she's they get Eli and Patrick, and obviously in, and they're like, "We're going to have to go out and get her." So they split up into couples to go ahead and try and catch her. And it's just it's great. Like, what Patrick, when they're out hunting for Sophie, Patrick actually tells Eli, and this is a really nice moment.
It's brilliant,
Patrick, isn't it? Yeah, like Patrick tells Eli that he understands, he deduced that he was a companion bot a while ago, but he's genuinely in love with Eli, and actually Eli's in love with him as well, and it's just and it's there's a really sweet moment with the two of them there, and they're just like, "Fuck it, let's just leave, let's just get out of here." But then they fucking they spot Iris, and then he like gets in a fight with her. He ends up.
She kills
She
him.
tries to escape. Yeah, when she tries to escape in the car, it's great because she's in the self-driving car, and she's trying to say the voice to get the car to go so she can get out of there, but it can't get the right pitch, and so she's messing around with the phone, changing pitch, changing this, that, the voice, until eventually it sounds like him, and then the car drives off. But he's able then to what's his face is able to. What's his name?
Josh.
Josh is able to report the car stolen. Yeah, and so the car gets pulled over, and she's like, "Fuck's sake!" So it's great because when she gets pulled over, she's there. There's actually cops are driving by and just see her kicking the window. It opens up, but because she's unable to lie to him and say, I've actually killed a bunch of people up there, killed a guy up there. Now there's people hunting me. I'm actually a sex robot. She just changes her language to German on the phone, so she can't lie. And she's saying that to him. She's like, I changed. She goes, yes, I was up there. Yes, I killed somebody, but I had to change my language to German because you can't understand me. And he's just like,
the cop is so good. Like,
and he's brilliant.
Plays it really well.
Yeah, he's from, he was Mark something. He's in Ozark and stuff.
Right,
yeah, he's brilliant, and he's so he's just like
Patrick
sprechen Sie English, and she's like, yeah, sprechen Sie English, and she just goes off the big fucking German rant again, and it's fucking brilliant. It's just I was crying laughing at that one. It was just so well done. I don't know if she speaks German fluently, maybe the actress, but I thought it was absolutely spot on. It sounded fantastic.
Absolutely.
Where were you? I suppose I've barely taken a breath at this point. Like, where were you up to this point? Because we're kind of into it's fast-paced part of the movie now.
It's just wonderful. And again, because you're probably halfway through the movie at this point, you're just going, where is this going to go? Is she going to get free? You really don't know. But it's when that bit with the cop and a German, changing a German accent was fantastic. And then it's when you see Patrick coming behind the cop. And he's just walking up with intent and just going, oh, here we fucking go. Like, and his love of his life's just been fucking murdered. So he arrives up and she's like, oh no, he's coming. The cop just turns around. And then that's when you get some of the grotesque horror elements where Patrick's like, I love when shots don't cut away when you expect them to cut away. When he turns around, grabs the cop, and with the butt of the gun just starts hitting him and just hits him about fucking 11 times. And just smashes his fucking face in, and you're just like, oh, all right, here, there we go.
Might be a fucking Goodfellas, you know? Fucking,
exactly.
Touch her again, 100%. You're fucking dead.
Where someone just doesn't stop.
Because they once Eli's dead, they reboot Patrick, and they reboot Patrick with the jailbreak thing, and then put his aggression like up to 100%, and basically tell him, go here, get her, get her, bring her back here, and he's basically just mindless fucking robot at this point. But because of when the accident first happened and they had her tied up, obviously they know that, what are they called again, Patrick's or whatever the name of the company is, they're on the way, because they had to ring and say, listen, your fucking company or your robots are going 30 minutes killing somebody. So they know that she's on the way, and we have to get this fucking story in order and have to get that robot back, have to do X, Y, and Z. Kat tries to leave, and she's disgusted by Josh and all the rest of it. She's like, I can't believe that what's it called? Thing is dead. This is dead. Because you look, and he just goes, Patrick, stop her. And of course, forgets that Patrick is still on 100% aggression mode. And Patrick just walks up with a kitchen knife and just fucking stabs her straight through the back. And there's this great shot actually, because she kind of stumbles, whatever, and she's forward and she's with her back and she falls onto the couch and she's just sitting there dying, on the couch. I mean, it just cuts to beside her and it's just Iris sitting there completely like prim and proper. But the way they've mixed with the color, obviously she has her eyes are whited out, but the way they've mixed with the color as well, it looks like her whole body has been dialed down, the dress, everything, that she's just the color is dialed down. The saturation's just on her, and Kat's lying there beside her, like fucking looking, just bleeding out. It's just a really cool shot.
Just clever.
Yeah, it is. It's done really well. So then that night, Josh gets Patrick to make like a dinner for the two of them, and he's having this thing, and he rants about, he's basically like you said, toxic masculinity. Why don't I get everything I want from the world? I do. I'm a nice guy, as they call it, but I don't get everything I want. The world is horrible.
That's the brilliant part of this about his character, where you get a look into who he really is just by him just acting who he is. They're not beating you over the head with it like, oh, toxic masculinity. You just hear him. He's still playing this victim, just like women always, you know, they just use me and then spit me out at this and that. And you can just tell that like he's believing his own narrative that I'm a nice guy and I just can't find the right woman. That's why I need this sex bot. And then you just see more and more. It's just like his true colors just come out, that he's just a nasty, spiteful fucking cunt. And you're going to get your comeuppance, like.
And you're a dude who's like clearly in his mid-30s, who's ordered a sex bot who, you know, looks about 20. Like, so straight off the bat, you're a creep. But so he's having his rant, and he basically wants her to become compliant as possible. So he turns her intelligence down to 0, and he has her she's burning her hand on the candle, which you see in the trailer, and her arm going up in flames and stuff. And then he gives her the gun and tells her to shoot herself in the head, which she does, and it's fucking awesome. It's done in slow motion. So yeah, you see her fucking pull the trigger, and it's just bang through, and it's just you see the bullet literally going almost behind her eyes and out through the red. It's fucking so well done. Proper slow motion shot. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
And she hits the deck, and he thinks fucking grand. That's her. You know, she's her data will be erased now. 2 workers from the company arrive, and while they're taking her away, they mention, "Oh, look, don't worry, we'll be able, once we check all the footage, we'll be able to get all this thing sorted." And he's like, "What footage? Isn't her brain shut out?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, but all the important, that's only like her Wi-Fi or something." He said it's in her head.
Yeah, that's her router is in her head.
Yeah, that's all that. He goes, everything else, all the stuff, it's the rest of it is in like hard drive in her stomach. We'll reboot her and she'll be good to go. And so fucking obviously Josh starts freaking out. So there's an obvious thing. It just says, "Patrick, go ahead and kill these 2." And this stage, Patrick is wearing the cop's outfit from the dead cop. And he sends him out to kill the 2 lads and the 2 guys from the company. And he kills one and he's going to kill the other one. And Iris stops him. She can't hurt him, but she appeals to him, his humanity, and talks about Eli and how much they were in love. And he starts to remember then that Josh isn't the one that he loves after the reprogramming. It was always Eli. And so he ends up killing himself. And because it was saved, the other worker, Teddy, the other worker decides to, because she says, "I need you to help me with something." And so he gives her full ability to control herself. So now she can be, as you said, Daz, a full natural woman, robot woman, whoever she wants to be.
And when she says to him, "You're nothing to me," it's just like, you can't kill me. You love me too much. And it's like, oh, I don't know. And she goes, and the visual motifs that have been littered through the movie that you don't know, with the wine opening bottle that they show you like two times very close up, and not once did I think, oh, that might come back. Which was
it's just cool. Yeah, it's just cool wine opening kind of show. It's like they put it, it's electric basically bottle on top of it. The corkscrew goes down and then uses pressure and pops it up, and you just they end up having a fight on the ground, and she fucking gets the corkscrew thing up and just fucking jams it into his temple. And she's
wonderful death scene.
Yeah, it's great because she just goes, "Josh, go to sleep," and bam, and then puts the fucking thing in.
Take that, motherfucker.
And he's just fucking, you see him, his eye going weird and everything as the corkscrew is going through his temple into his fucking head. Great death. And the next day you kind of see her as she showers and she's gonna she's leaving the place. She's packing she's packing the 12 million from the suitcases. She's taking it all with her, and she gets into Sergei's absolutely gorgeous red top coupe Mustang. Oh god, absolutely gorgeous. And she's driving along, and I love this. This is what I mentioned at the start about proper CG, is that we see her hand in the shower, and we see even more of it now because she's peeling all that skin off. And you can see the robot. Hand. Yeah, you can see the robot hand. And when she's driving along the road, she looks beside her, and there's a car being driven by another one of her, because obviously she's in a line of these robots, and it's a robot who just has a smile on its face, driving along while the man beside her is ranting, having a moan, and she went and waves at her with a robot hand, and you just see the look and the confusion on the other robot's face, and she just smiles to herself and drives off. And it was a perfect way to end it. I absolutely love it because that happens in between a couple of title card scenes, and I loved it. I loved the credits. I love that pink with the red writing on it. It's just, it was just pitch perfect movie for me. Really, really enjoyed it. And I again, before, if anybody's just stuck with us this long, I will recommend it again. Really, really
go see it. I cannot wait to watch it again. Streaming, it's just delightful. And and to watch it again after having seen the trailer.
I wasn't pick. See what else you pick up on as watching it again. Like obviously, you cop the stuff with Patrick and you cop whatever else to try and watch more and see what exactly I didn't pick up on, because it's bound to be tons. But yeah, all in all, just fantastic performances, writing, everything. There's the only thing I mentioned, I think maybe was the discrepancy in between the technological advancements. Like that's literally
when
the
exactly
only,
is it set?
yeah, that's really the only kind of thing I could see that I could moan about. But like that's very small because you don't really don't care about that. It's wonderful to watch. Its comedy notes are bang on point. It's just a lot of fun. Highly recommended.
Absolutely, yeah, me too. It's just constantly evolves throughout the runtime. You're learning more about all the characters, and just as we said at the top of it, the script is just super tight. Just fucking, it's pitch perfect. Funny and suitably grotesque when it needs to be. But yeah, check it out. 4.5 stars from the both of us. Thanks, Phil, for taking us through that. What a wonderful movie. And thanks to everybody for sharing and subscribing and watching on YouTube and listening. We will do our best to get another super movie next week. Take it easy.